Smile, Marlene, you're on.
Just tell them you're me.
Hi, surprise, surprise.
Hi, everybody.
It's the Ding and Dong show today.
You expected to see. Today it's the Ding and Dong show. Actually, Jess is printing her notes, and she will be with you in a minute.
I do have a microphone on. They can probably hear me, but
Yeah, I'm sure they can.
There's a microphone on.
Bring them on camera.
So today, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
No, it's a
I'm not sure
secret.
Jess knows either, but she'll wing it like she always does, and she'll be drinking her
Whatever.
drinks.
I didn't even write a lot of notes, but I still feel the need to print them. So let me.
She's printing her
coming.
notes. She can't
Printing
figure
her
out what
notes.
she's
She's
doing. I don't
In
know.
the meantime, did everybody have a good
In the meantime, can they hear
I hope
you?
So. Can you hear me? I don't know.
She's printing her notes. She can't figure out what she's doing.
I don't know. Everybody have a good week? I did.
You're low because because the microphone is on me.
I'm coming.
She's coming. So's Christmas.
She's coming. She's coming.
Oh my God, she's running.
The show.
And here's Jessica.
I mean, really? Do you expect anything less from us? I mean, really? Make sure my phone is on silent. I can hear myself on the computer, so I'm not even going to check. You might want to turn that off.
Yeah, I thought I did before.
There we go. All right. Well, now that we're here, now that I'm here, I just need to tell you guys something. Good morning. I just wanted to let you all know that starting today, we are changing the format of our Facebook Fridays. There will be no more laughing, no more fun. There's no more laughing.
We're in trouble.
We
I'm
have
tired.
apparently offended someone that doesn't like laughing, and so we're not going to laugh anymore. And also, I'm not changing for anybody because I am who I am, and so get over it. So I'm so sorry if you're offended by our laughter and stupidity, but here we are, back again.
That's the way we are.
I will not change for anybody because I am a 40-year-old woman and I don't care anymore. So that's all I have to say. So if you were disappointed by that news, don't worry, nothing's going to change because I wasn't even ready today.
She got it out of her system.
I got it out of my system. There. Yes, I was just being a petty little you-know-what,
And
but
we're
I'm
here.
getting over it.
Don't change.
I'm not going to change. I refuse to change.
And
people
tell
that have
them
tried
not
to
to
make me
watch.
change, they can't change me. Yes. You are welcome to not watch us if you find us offensive, annoying, or otherwise not your cup of tea, because it's fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm my own cup of tea. I think I'm theirs, and I'm yours. So it's totally fine. So as with anything, the more people that you reach out to in the world, the more critics there are, and they have found me. And it's okay. I have thick skin. I'm fine with it. I just needed to say that because I did. Because it's my video and I can do whatever I want. It's the Jessica Show. So I was printing my notes and Barb just sees the top, no more laughing. And I was like, nope, we're done.
We're in trouble.
I don't have a lot of notes. They're very, very short. But as you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I have no memory. So if I don't write it down, I won't remember anything. So one more, and this is not a negative. Don't take it that way. It's me trying to encourage some of you. And this applies to everybody, whether it's on Facebook or in the group or in life in general. I don't know if Charlie's here, but Charlie, I think you're probably the one that doesn't fall into this category. I feel like this is more of a woman issue, but Charlie, please listen anyway, because maybe you do this. We were talking about this morning, that we have this overwhelming need to point out our flaws because I think we're afraid that someone else is going to point them out. So, just like when we say like, oh, I know I look terrible today. Oh, I know my hair doesn't look good today. You feel this need to say it, and 9 times out of 10, the person that you're talking to is not going to say that. Remember that with your work as well. You all do beautiful work. I've seen the majority of your work. Like, you show us in the group, you post it on my page, you send me pictures. Stop making yourself feel bad is really what I'm trying to say. When you post something, just put it out there, be proud of yourself, pat yourself on the back, and wait for the compliments to roll in, because they do. How many compliments?
Oh my
you guys
gosh,
have probably posted more in the group than I have, because I don't know, you see everything I do. But how many compliments do you get as soon as you post a picture?
Oh my gosh. You always
it's
do.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think we formed this really beautiful community of nice people. Don't point out your flaws. I tell people that, especially when I used to teach beginner classes. Nobody needs to know that. Nobody needs to, don't criticize yourself, because it's It's not necessary. You're all doing great. So that was my pep talk for the day. I've already pep talked myself, so it's all good. So, okay. There's a couple of quick things, and then we'll get into it for today. I did get cork in yesterday. I haven't cut it yet, but for anybody that was waiting patiently for Sapphire Metallic Fleck, it's back. I just have to cut it. It will be on the website as soon as I can get it cut. Since we're talking about cork, again, I did not get as much done this morning, but I have the rest of the day and the weekend. One of our colors is being discontinued, not by us, by the manufacturer, the grape, which I like the grape. I know it's not your favorite. It's not Barb's favorite. You like purple.
I do.
Yes. So they have discontinued this because they have a new and improved purple. We will not call it the same color. I don't want anyone to be confused and think that they're ordering that. So we haven't come up with a name yet, but I think it's a really pretty bluey purple. So this one's going to be gone. Look for this in the near future on the pop-up sale page.
Pop-up sale.
You know what I'm talking about. This is the new purple. This will be ordered. I don't know when it's going to come in. Things are shipping a little bit slowly from Portugal, which we have not had any issues even over the past year, but this last order took a little longer. It's fine. Yeah. Things happen. What are you going to do? So we're getting a new purple. We'll have a new name for it. But we'd also want your
Raisin
opinion.
is a good name.
Raisin? Oh, Raisin! I like it. Done. Raisin. I like
You
it.
just picked the name.
Perfect. I like it.
Is she on a prize?
She wins you. You have to get back on camera. You're the prize.
Scary enough.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing again. So anyway, just kidding. So they sent us 3 new, 2 are texture.
You're right over
Stop
I have a
eating
piece of
your
hair
hair.
in my mouth. 2 are textures and 1 is a new color. And we all have our own opinions. And I think we're on the same page, but I want to know where you guys are at. So I'm going to show you, and you tell me in the comments what you think. And I have no idea what these are actually called, so I'm just going to call them whatever I want, because that's what I do. So this one is like a basket weave. This is like a chocolate colored basket weave. So it's got like a really cool texture. It's not super textury, but it just has... It has like a leather kind of a texture. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, so that's the brown basket weave. We love this one. I'm pretty sure this one's going to come.
It's a good thing you have your nails done.
He does them every day.
I do them every week. Every week.
Every Friday, every Thursday night.
No, I don't even have a schedule anymore. It's just whenever I need to get my nails done. This one we like, but I want to know what you guys think. This is like do we think it's a crocodile?
Yes.
It's like a solid black crocodile
Some
texture.
kind of skin look.
Yeah, alligator.
So it's got like, a nice it's not a deep texture, but it reminds me of some of the fancy textured
purses.
leathers.
Yeah.
So, and since we want to make things that are fancy that look like we bought them to confuse people, I think this is a good one. So we like this one.
The brown one is a hit so far.
Good. I want the brown. I think we're going to get the black. We're going to see. It all depends because I have quantities I have to do like per box. Remember that big roll I showed you guys a little while ago? There is like a minimum of how many colors I have to get. So I think it's going to fit in. I think I already got that one in the black crocodile. We're still waiting to figure out if it's a hit. This one, yes. This one I don't know. I want to know what you guys think of this because I think it's pretty. But it's not our most popular color. And so I want to see if maybe this is the one, this is the right shade, or it's very summer. It's like a lemony yellow. And I don't know. I don't know how it's going to pick up on camera. It's definitely lighter than the yellow zipper. It's very lemony pastel.
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes it'll pick up weird on camera.
On your laptop, it looks yellow.
Not an orange at all. It's very yellow. It's bright. It's happy.
The other two are definite.
So I know yellow's not everybody's favorite color. It's not our biggest color. The mustard and the pearl yellow, we sell here and there. It's not a huge hit. So understanding that, it's a big investment on my end, I just want to know if anybody likes it before I order it. And I might see if I can get a little bit, maybe, can I just have a little bit? And we'll see what happens. Barb lost us. Are you okay?
Where'd I go?
I can't help her.
I got you back. Wow.
Okay, so let us know in the comments
let's
what
see,
you think of that.
1,
And
no to yellow. Not crazy about yellow. A couple positives.
yeah,
Love the yellow.
yeah, it's
like,
so hard. I feel like
The
when it
black
comes to
the brown
yellows,
is the biggest hit.
the black.
The brown.
Oh, the brown.
basket weave. The
When it
black is
comes
the
to
second.
yellows and oranges, you have to genuinely like that color. It's not something that appeals to everybody. So, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll get a little, maybe we won't. But
Love the yellow, yeah.
we're family. I like to get your
It's
opinions.
a pretty yellow.
I think it's a
just we
very
don't
pretty
have
yellow.
A lot that goes with it.
It's right. It's they based it because of the Pantone color of the year, which Sunshine or whatever it's called. And it looks great with like grays and neutrals. A lot of our prints, it's not perfect with, it's okay. But, yeah, you see what you see.
Looks
So
like it's going to be 50-50 in the yellow.
I think it's 50. So let's hope that they'll let me get a little bit to try it out. And we'll see. We'll see if the 50% really like it when they get it.
Charlie says he'd buy it for a specific project rather than have it in his stash.
True. Yes. And I agree. I think some of the certain colors and prints are definitely project specific,
Yeah.
not, I can't live with this, I need to stock up on it. So I totally get that. So I told you that. So, okay. Sharon, I hope you're watching. Sharon emailed me last night, and I was super tired last night. I have no idea why, and I fell asleep really early, like 7:30 early, and because I'm old. She asked me if we had any of our wallets would hold a passport. This is not my passport, it's Barb's, because I don't have a passport at the moment. So she wanted to know, and I didn't have the answer, so Sharon, that's why I didn't email you back, because I didn't know, but I have a Diva wallet here, and it fits beautifully in the Diva wallet. Yep. So even if you have a lot of stuff in here, it's not quite at the crease line, so I think you can definitely put a lot in there. If you ever have doubts, you can always add a little bit to the length if you wanted to, but that fits really nicely in there. And I'm sure.
She asked me to bring my passport. I thought I was going to have to go through a TSA check to get to work today. Jeez.
And it definitely fits in the Prima Diva. No, I'm not. I'm going to look at your picture, though.
Oh, God.
Want to see
I'm
it?
sure I've seen it before.
It's from when we went to Ireland.
Oh, yeah. It's old. Oh, my God. Look right there.
We're not laughing at Barb. We're laughing with her because she's laughing. So, Sharon, I hope you're watching. Oops. And if you're not watching, I will answer your email later just in case to make sure. But I think Sharon usually watches. So, I think that's it. We didn't get anything new in this week. We have some more Essex linens on the way. They actually shipped really quick this time.
Oh, good.
I got a ship date, and they should be here middle of next week. So we'll get some replenishments, and I think 2 new colors. I can't remember. But as for right now, I'm just waiting for stuff to come in. So what I thought we would do today, because I know that it's always good to have extra education. It's always good to know, some of the basics. And we have a lot of new people here. So I wanted to go through hardware basics, things that we carry, other names that you will see them called if you were shopping elsewhere, uses for them. And I pulled a bag that has at least one of each of these to show you how it looks on a bag. If I have any little tips or tricks that I can throw at you, I will do that for you. I always have little things, little oddball things that I do because I don't always have what I need at home. And I'll share with you any of that stuff and show you how different things can be interchanged. They are laughing. Yes.
I agree with Bobby. We should all take a field trip to Portugal, to the cork factory.
Listen, we all want to go. Here's a little funny thing. I have never been to Portugal, but I do know this one little tiny cork fact.
If you get your passport, maybe you can go.
It's being processed. Oh my God. So anyway.
She's so impatient.
So impatient. And I'm impatient, and I thought I was bad. She's worse. One thing that I will tell you, and I know this from talking to people that have visited Portugal and talking to people that live in Portugal, if you decide to go to Portugal for whatever reason, and you're like, ooh, I'm here where they make cork fabric, I'm going to buy a ton when I'm here. You're not. And I don't know what the reason is, but you cannot find cork like we sell in a store in Portugal. You can find a bunch of bags and belts and hats and all sorts of things made out of cork. They produce it for us, but they don't sell it themselves to customers. It's a weird thing. I don't know what the reasoning is for it. Maybe it's for our benefit. I don't know. But if you ever decide to go to Portugal and you think I'm going to bring an extra suitcase and fill it with cork fabric, you're not. I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know that.
Jess.
Yes, Marlene.
So here's what we should do. If we go to Portugal, you take an extra suitcase, you fill it with cork from here, take it there, sell it on the street, and there you go. No more than back.
And now I'm in a Portugal prison. So
Exactly. Leave it to Marlene to think of stuff like that.
For the most part, drive whenever I go to shows and events.
Which
when
next year?
That's what I used to do, right?
Yeah, but next year.
It's been so long. But before that, when I used to fly, if I took extra cork with me, just like to have a little bit of extra, every single time TSA put one of those sheets in my bag that's like, hey, we looked in your bag, because I can only imagine what they thought I was bringing. And I got to the point where I would write a note in it and say, I am a vendor, I am going to a quilt show, this is for sewing purposes, just because I knew someone was going to open that bag and be like, what on earth is this? But every time I would open it up and like, there it is, and they'd put that little thing in there.
We searched your bag.
You're
Did
suspicious.
they ever take any?
I hope not. I didn't count.
Inventory. Before
Should I call? I have to call TSA. Listen, TSA always has beef with me every single time. I always had to take my shoes off before that was a thing. Always. They always go through my purse. They always find random things. I'm the one that my dear sweet husband puts a full water bottle in my bag without telling me. And the guy's like, excuse me. I'm like, I didn't put that in there. Great. Now I'm that person that took illegal contraband from some other random stranger. No, it's just my husband. So that's enough about that. So I wrote down, just to make sure I knew, how much hardware we have.
Oh, a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. But you know what?
And I know.
But this list makes me proud. Because I never imagined that I would have this much in all of the colors and sizes and styles. This is just the bright, like the type. I didn't write down all the sizes and colors.
God. When I first came here, my God, we had like one little wall of hardware.
When Barb first started working here, because Barb started before Marlene, we were not in that office. There were people selling olive oil over there. Whatever. We were here, and we had this sectioned off to cut fabric, and on that wall was the cork, but before you came here, and the hardware,
and the patterns were in boxes on the floor.
Before you came here, I literally had a 6-foot table with baskets of Diva frames, because that's all I had, in 3 colors. So I feel proud looking at this list. It's overwhelming. If I ever had to move,
when you talked about it, it's been like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't want to be involved.
I'll hire someone to do it for me. Okay, so I'm going to go through basic hardware. We're going to talk about, different things. I'll let you know the sizes we have, the finishes we have, and, how you would go about if you're looking for them outside of my website, which I know you do sometimes. It's okay. And I'm just going to kind of let you know some of the basics, and then I'll show you how it's used in a bag. If you have any questions about hardware, shout them out. Let us know. Barb will let me know. If you have questions about bags behind me, hold on. Just hold on to the end, because I will get super sidetracked and this will be 7 hours long. So let's start really basic with rectangle rings. You really can't get much more basic than rectangle rings. And we offer rectangle rings, well, this is, I guess, technically a square, in 3 sizes. So we have 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. I am, just to preface this before we get into the hardware a lot, I don't do the in-between sizes. I don't see the need, and I say this and then things will change, but as of today, April 9th, I don't see the need to do the oddball 1/8 inch sizes or 3/4 inch. I feel like if 3/4 works, then 1 inch is fine, or if 1 inch is too big, 1/2 will be fine. I like to just keep it easy, because as we have said a million times, we don't have any room. And if I order something, I'm going to have to order it in 6 different colors. That's 6 bins. It's a lot.
You know what? So, we can start putting it in the back of our cars.
You're going to have
SUVs.
To. And
we can set up the bathroom.
We have a bathroom here. You don't need the bathroom over there. We can use that as a closet. So when you're shopping for rectangle rings,
you don't need a desk over there either.
I really don't anymore. I don't sit there. So when you're shopping for rectangle rings, you are not concerned with your outside measurement. You're not concerned with the thickness of the bar itself, the gauge, and it's not the height. Your width is measured inside. So if you need a 1 inch, You want to be measuring inside. You don't want to measure the outside. So you can see inch versus inch and a half. Okay, your measurement's always inside because that's where your strap is going to go. The rectangle rings are made mostly for straps. I really can't think of any other reason I would need a rectangle ring unless I was putting a strap through it or hooking something to it. So like we talked about a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, I have no memory anymore, when I was showing you all of the old bags that I made for my mom. That was last week. Again, please don't take any offense to anything that I say. I say a lot of stuff. I was calling myself out on the fact that I thought it was humorous that I had a tab and a handle. There were two different sizes. I'm assuming the pattern told me to do that, but I don't know. Having a tab and a handle that are two different sizes, how would I pick a rectangle ring? I would need one that would fit both, and the one that I got was still too big for the bigger piece. So that's why I don't tend to do that, and to me, personal opinion, it looks a little goofy. I try to get as close to or the same size as I can. That's just a personal thing. If you're working on another pattern that's not mine and it has a tab and a handle that are two different sizes, you're going to need the bigger size. That's just logic. But I don't do that in my designs because it's one of those things that makes me a little batty. And I used to work at a jewelry store, and I had issues with the asymmetrical jewelry. It would always just made my brain not compute. I was like, no, it needs to be symmetrical. My boss would get mad at me. She's like, not everything's symmetrical. Well, it is in my world. So, you know, it's just those personal neuroses. So if you like it a certain way, just ignore me. You don't have to do everything I say. Trust me, nobody else does. So there's our rectangle rings. We have the 3 sizes in all 6 colors. So when I say all 6, I mean the silver, the gunmetal. Sometimes people call it black. I always call it gunmetal because it is more gray for us. Antique brass, which is the only finish that's not high polish. Yellow gold, rose gold, and rainbow, which is an iridescent finish. And rainbow is one of those oddballs that sometimes it looks more blue, sometimes it looks more pink, sometimes it's both. You don't get to choose. You just have to get what you get. So rectangle rings I have on, well, Liana. Liana's a great example. Why did I put rectangle rings on here? A couple reasons. I always base things on sizes of cork that we have. So in order to make this look, to have these nice long handles that went down the front, I needed to break it up somewhere. I didn't have enough to do one piece unless I put a seam in it. If I'm going to put a seam in it, why not put a piece of hardware? And also it's going to help them to fold down, and it just adds a little bit of decoration. Hardware can make or break your bag. If you want a plain and simple bag, then don't do hardware or do as simple as you can. If you want to bling it out, you can change it. You can change the hardware in this bag, and I will get to strap anchors and things later. But there's a great example of rectangle rings. If I had used a smaller one, it would be pinched together.
I don't know what she's laughing at.
Oh God, what? Oh, I know what she's laughing at. If I had used a bigger rectangle ring, it would be hanging out. So I am 100% ignoring Marlene because I know exactly why she's laughing. Yeah. So anyway, so here's another place that I used a rectangle ring. And this one, the size didn't matter for where it hooked on, but it mattered because of the tab. This is the Central Park. So I made this an adjustable strap that is also removable. The nice thing about that is it's easier for the bag construction. And also if you need to unhook it, you know, maybe get it under a jacket or something, you can do that. So there is another use of the rectangle ring. So, and I have that for a couple of other things. Along with rectangle rings are sliders. Now, I did just do a video on YouTube, a really simple one, explaining how I add an adjustable strap, how I make one. Again, it's in any of the patterns where I use an adjustable strap, but sometimes you want to add it to something else. Maybe you have a bag and you just really wish it had an adjustable handle. You can do that. So again, same thing. We have 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2. And, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Okay, it went away. As soon as someone says bless you, it goes away.
Good.
And again, with these, you're always going to be measuring inside. The height doesn't matter. The thickness doesn't matter. And the bar itself sometimes is static and sometimes is not. Ours moves. There's it's not wrong or right. Some people just have different hardware. I'm pretty sure, because I think I've gotten hardware years ago, By Annie has a static bar. It's the same slide, but it looks just like this and the bar doesn't move. It doesn't make a difference for construction. It's just a personal preference if you like that look. Ours are all constructed this way and we keep it the same across the board. These also come in all 6 finishes, so you can make an adjustable handle like I have here, again, on the central park. You need a slide and you need a rectangle ring at minimum. This one has a swivel hook, but you need those 2 pieces at minimum to do an adjustable handle.
This is going to sound silly.
No, go ahead.
Have you ever done a bag with double handles that are adjustable?
I have not.
Would it make
not,
any sense?
well,
Just thought of it.
I mean, yes and no. If you're going to have, I mean, you would need to adjust them both the same. I don't see you not needing to. The only exception to that would be a backpack where you would have because they're 2 separate, those handles. But I'm thinking if I'm doing,
like
if I was doing this, I would probably just make these the right size. I guess you could, but.
And then if you really wanted adjustable, add a long adjustable that you could take on and off?
Exactly.
Okay.
If I'm doing a double handle, I tend to make it a set size. And then I like to do a single handle adjustable, but you could add that to this or any of the bags, Harper, any of the bags that don't have the adjustable. So no, that's a good question. So those are slides. Again, measure on the inside, and we have those in all 6 colors.
Yes,
now,
we do.
Going back, we don't have.
She hasn't gotten up to 10 yet.
We don't. Listen, they don't have that many colors. We've maxed out colors. 6 is the maximum, unless they come up with some new trendy finish, which I have not seen yet. So, when it comes to rectangle rings, you also have a couple of alternatives that you could substitute. You could use a D-ring, which is called a D-ring because it's the shape of a D, or an O-ring, which is also called a circle. That's logic. There's no fancy names for these. So here's my only issue with D-rings. Because they have the arc in the middle, when you hook something to it, it wiggles around. They have their place, but not for every single thing. And D-rings are like my second favorite. I would prefer a rectangle ring or a circle over a D-ring. But we carry D-rings because a lot of people love them. And we use them, is that the one thing I didn't grab?
What do you need?
I don't know. You go get it. Let me tell you what Charlie said.
How about that tote right there?
You're looking for a new
the
trendy
handle's not
finish?
on.
There's a new trendy finish, according to Charlie.
Tell me.
Matte rainbow. He says
Matte
it's
rainbow.
gorgeous.
Damn you, Charlie.
You're always one step ahead, Charlie.
Wow.
Matte rainbow.
I gotta find out.
Thanks, Charlie. We're running out of room here.
Now, Charlie, we're coming to your house and setting up shop. So I use D-rings on this. This is the, what is this one called?
I don't remember. I made it.
It's the one in the magazine.
It's the one in the magazine.
It's the one in the magazine. I don't remember what it's called. It's a tote bag. So that's not its name. I just spaced out. So I did add D-rings onto the outside of this because it has short handles and it also has a removable strap. The one thing, if you use D-rings, make sure that you do that stitching right there that's super close to it to make sure that they don't flip. D-rings are notorious for flipping over. Marlene's going to try to find the name because it's going to drive both of us crazy. I keep wanting to call it the wrong name. Yes. I don't know. So we have D-rings again
in travel something or
in 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. Marlene has a brace on her hand right now. I'm sorry, but this is just going to drive me insane. Here it is. They don't call it that. They didn't call it anything.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, because they didn't use my names.
There's no name on the bag?
No, I named it, and they named it in our emails, but they didn't use the name in the magazine. Ignore us. Just forget it.
Just says large tote.
A large tote.
That's what it is.
So if you need a rectangle ring, for instance, right here, you can substitute a circle if you want. You can also substitute a D-ring. Here's the one fun thing about the circles. We only use these on the Everly backpack. I do want to work them into another pattern because I love them. We only have them in 4 colors. We don't have rainbow and yellow gold. But they are, again, measured across here, 1.5 inches. But because they're a circle, you can really put them on anything you want because of the way that they operate. So you could put a big circle on here, even though this is 1.5 inches and this is 1 inch, it would still work.
Yeah.
And the
Doesn't
circle's
look odd.
the circle's just going to turn, so you don't have to worry like with a D ring or a rectangle ring flipping. So
Oh, here's another color too, antique copper.
you guys are killing me. You're literally killing me right now.
I googled
Okay, we
rainbow,
have
but
to end this video right now.
pictures that I'm
Cross
seeing
country
just look
tote.
like- that's what
Sorry.
it is. That doesn't look matte. I don't know. Is that matte? I googled matte.
Oh,
yeah, it's not
yeah,
shiny.
it's not.
Yeah.
It makes the colors pop
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
What's
Thanks a
the other
lot,
one?
Charlie.
more
So, and
Okay, I'll have to
one
put it in order.
one last alternative to D rings and rectangle rings is a triangle. So when it comes to triangles, again, we have these. Do we have them in 4? I think we have them in 4. We have them in 4 colors: the rose gold, gunmetal, silver, and antique brass. These I use exclusively on the road trip bag, and the reason is when you are
for there.
hooking something onto this and you have a lot of weight, which we know this is a travel bag, you're going to have a lot of weight. I don't want anything that's going to be flipping around, and I love the look of the little circle, the little hole right there for your swivel hook. So these are measured, again, inside here. That's a very hard store,
Antique copper.
what do you call it? Like kind of
Industrial?
industrial.
yeah.
There. You guys are rough. Oh, well, we're not getting the yellow cork, so I guess we can just order more.
Are they gate rings? What are gate rings?
I do not know. I have not heard of a
not
gate
sure,
ring.
Ray.
Google a gate ring. So your triangles, you're going to measure in here. You're not going to worry about the size outside or the circle right here. These are just kind of based on the size of the triangle, but this measurement right here is 1.5 inches. So that's what size my handle would be, and then I can hook onto the circle. So I don't use triangle rings a lot, but let's say you were making an Everly backpack, or you were making not only the road trip bag, something that needs, like the cross-country tote we just showed you. You want something where a swivel hook will hook into it, you can sub it for a triangle. So the reason I wanted to do this today is because sometimes I call for a certain piece of hardware because that's what I used on the sample. That's what I'm showing you on the cover. That's how I constructed it. But there's other alternatives, and maybe you are one of those bag makers. There's a lot of you out there that have supplies of hardware. You keep bins of it and you have a bunch of them around. You can absolutely...
That's a gate ring. Screws.
Oh, okay. A gate ring is very similar. Yes, you could use that. Gate rings... Sorry, I just
together.
got totally sidetracked.
I'm sorry.
Gate rings have a screw in them. I knew what they were. I wasn't putting it there. Gate rings open and then they screw back together. So if you've ever seen a bag that has like a grommet in it or a hole of some kind and you want to use this to attach your handle, you can open it up, put it through the grommet and screw it back together and attach
okay,
your
I
handle
gotcha.
to it.
Oh,
But you can sub.
I never heard of
You can
one.
sub gate rings for circles. You may not be able to always sub circles for gate rings, if that makes sense. It goes one way, but not necessarily the other way. Anyway, talking about, God,
I'm sorry.
triangle.
Triangle rings.
So that would look good here, like too.
You could,
put the,
yeah,
the
absolutely.
triangle there.
If you put the triangle
And then hook
here,
the-
then you would hook
like
your swivel on there.
Yep.
So the only reason I don't use triangles a lot is because they are a little bit on the pricier side because there's more metal, they're larger pieces. I really like them. I think they give a different look, and sometimes it's not the look that I want. They're a little bit beefier. When it comes to subbing out though, you have options, and I just like to let you know that, so that if you are looking at your pile of hardware and thinking, I really wanted to make this pattern this weekend, I don't have time to wait for something to ship and I can't find it locally, you might have something in your drawer that will work. You're just not looking at it and thinking that. So there's always more than one way to do something. So let me see here. Of course, I didn't bring a pen to cross them out. Let's see what we didn't talk about. Okay, let's get into swivel hooks. I have always called them swivel hooks. I've seen other people call them swivel clips.
Ooh. I've never seen that.
or just hooks or clips.
Yeah.
And
I like
they're
swivel hooks.
it's just what I've always called them. So we have 1/2 inch, and we have 1 inch, and we have 1.5. Now you might notice on here, these two have very similar hook styles. Okay, this one's a little bit different. This one is a little bit daintier because of the size. Again, the hook itself does not matter. It's the measurement inside here that makes this a 1 inch and makes this a 1.5. We use these a ton. These little swivel hooks we have used on so many different things. We have all the colors. We have all 6 of these, and we have all 6 in the 1 inch, and I think we have 4 in the 1.5. Swivel hooks are great for a lot of reasons. So here is a laurel, and on this one, we have a swivel hook on the handle right here. So the handle is sewn right to it, and then this hooks onto a little tab that's built in, and I will talk about the kiss lock frames as well. You can also use those little swivel hooks and the little 1/2 inch D-rings on a Prima Diva. I have just a wrist strap. You could make a removable one. You can make a removable handle. You can attach that to here. These frames don't have tabs, so you would be making it from the D-rings. I've also used them. I've used them on a lot of things.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, here's another swivel hook, this central part. Good thing I brought this one over.
Yeah.
This one. So a swivel hook is just going to make it removable. So if I did not want this wrist strap all the time, or if I wanted to add a chain to this, I did actually, because it was for the video.
Piper has one.
I added the little tabs in here with the little D-rings, and I can tuck them away when I'm not using them. It just gives you the option to make something removable.
Your tassels too.
Tassels. I knew there was something else basic. The little free boxy pouches, the mini ones, we put those on there. And here's the thing, the reason it's called a swivel hook is because this hook turns.
Swivels.
So you don't have to worry what direction it goes in. So that's the really great thing. You add this to your strap and it's going to move on its own. Even on the bigger one for a road trip bag. So that's why this really doesn't matter, because this swivels around. So the strap is not going to be set in one place. You don't have to worry about it getting twisted because the swivel hook swivels. So those are the only names I saw for those, were swivel hook and swivel clip, or just a hook or a clip. I have not seen any other names. If you know any other names, let us know. Let's jump into one of my favorite pieces, and I have not designed anything with these in a while, which means I need to. Twist locks.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And
It's been a
flip
while.
locks. So
I love the flip locks.
I love the flip locks, but they're big. I think I just said flip flops. I love the flip flops. It's summertime. I love flip flops. I should drink more.
Yes.
Lobster clasps is
Lobster.
another word. Thanks,
See?
Charlie. Who else?
Charlie! Yeah, I knew there was something. I was like, I think that's it. I'll just lie and say that's all I know. And then Charlie calls me out. 'Cause I'm brain damaged this week, I'm telling you. So, twist locks, I've also seen called turn locks. And flip locks, I have not seen by any other name. But they are a lock because once these two pieces go together, they lock in place. The flip lock flips up and flips down, so that's why it's a flip lock. The twist lock or turn lock twists and turns. So it goes into its opposite piece and you turn it to lock it in place. Now here's another thing to remember. Back in the beginning of hardware for myself, I only had twist locks. That was the only style of this that I had. In using those, I wrote them into patterns. So you might find a pattern like Lucy, for instance, which calls for a twist lock. Well, maybe you only have a flip lock or you want something bigger. These are 100% interchangeable. If it's a newer pattern, like, I'm trying to think which one might have it. One of the newer ones. Maybe Emily? I forget. If it's a newer pattern, I will say twist lock or flip lock. But if it's written just for twist lock, it's because that's all that we had at the moment. Oh, I don't need it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Just,
And actually, I
Emily.
think Tabitha. So you can
Yeah.
tell by the time frame of when you got the hardware as to what is called for in the back. You can also substitute other more simple closures, because this is a closure. So this is used on a flap. It's used on the flap here. Here's a flip lock on a Stella. Stella is one of, I think, the first pattern that had a twist lock. So that one only says twist lock on it. Because, guys, I'm not going back and editing every single pattern to include updates. But just know that a twist lock is the same thing as a flip lock. They can 100% be interchanged. I have this road trip bag right here, which has the twist locks. I have another sample behind me that has flip locks. We do carry these both in all 6 finishes. And the twist lock, there is a measurement on it if you look on the website, and the measurement is across the open part, because that is the biggest part. That is 1.25 inches. So from here to here. The flip lock is 1.5 inches. And again, that's measuring from here to here. So you can see there is a substantial difference. I have used both of these on any pattern that calls for one. But it kind of depends on the look that you're going for. If this is too big, you might want to try a twist lock. The kind that we use have screws on the back. Just 2. They're not as tiny as the Diva screws, but they do have screws. And the reason is I have seen some others that have tabs. So when you look at this part, the front has these little tabs that you have to put through the fabric and fold to the back. Personally, I don't trust them as much. I am sure that they're fine, but it's just one of those things where I look at it and I think, is that tab going to hold up? Is it going to, stay in place? I prefer the screws. And that's the style that we keep. Are you okay?
Yes.
I was having a coughing fit. I hate that. So
I didn't want to cough it.
you're fine. So we use the kind that have the screws in them. The screws come in the back. Here's a little tip for you. As I had this happen to me the other day, or to a customer. If you are trying to get the screws out, and like this one I can feel is totally loose, it's ready to come out. This one's in pretty tight. If you're having an issue getting the screws out, get a bigger screwdriver. And if you can't do it, if you don't have the strength in your hands, see if you have somebody else around that can help you. But just get a larger screwdriver than what you're using and give it a really good twist. Sometimes because of the coating process, when they finish them like this. And sometimes the coating process kind of makes them stick. They will come out. I have not had one that wouldn't come out, but sometimes, like especially if you're using a Diva screwdriver, the Diva screwdrivers, it would work on this because it's almost open anyway. The Diva screwdrivers are made for Diva screws. They're not appropriate for these pieces of hardware. Just get yourself a little Phillips screwdriver and try the next size up from whatever you're using. So when it comes to twist locks and flip locks, again, I like bling. I like the pretty. I love the flip locks. I think they're my favorite now, when the twist locks used to be. But you can also sub if you don't want hardware, or if you're making something for someone that wants it more simple, you can also use magnets. And I don't write these into any of my patterns. I will admit that. The reason is I like bling. And here's the way I figure it. You all can figure out how to put in a magnet where you might need extra help on the fancy hardware, so I would rather write that in. But let's say you're making this Lucy right here, and the person you're making it for, or yourself, is like, it's not my thing. I don't like the flip locks. I don't like the twist locks. You don't have to use them. You can use a magnet.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How do you put those in?
You put these in.
Do you leave them in the plastic?
No. Oh, those, okay. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Those I know.
The
prong
regular
ones, yeah.
magnets have prongs on the back.
Yeah.
They go in the same way as this part. Anything that has prongs comes with a washer. And we're going to talk about washers in a second too. These are invisible magnets. They're really strong, and they're in plastic. The reason they're in plastic is because you sew these underneath the fabric so you don't see them. So a lot of times you sew them into a lining, so you are going to sew around the edge of the plastic. I do not have any tutorials on these. I like them, but I don't use them. I would much prefer these over this, because if I'm going to see the hardware, I want it to be pretty and blingy. If I'm going to use a magnet, I want it to be hidden. That's just that's just me. And here's another thing to remember. These do have was it a north and a south? Make sure that you're putting them in correctly, because they will not snap together if you don't. And then you have a purse that fights against itself. So check that before you sew them in. I will work on a tutorial for this. I just don't have one yet. So magnets can absolutely be interchanged if you don't like a flip lock or a twist lock. You can even use Velcro if that is your cup of tea. The noise makes me insane. I don't like it. But I used to. You guys saw it. Yeah. I loved my Velcro. You know why? Because you could get it at Joann's.
Yes.
So it was super easy. It was super cheap. And I found Velcro that you could iron on. Why I trusted that, I have no idea. Because in the beginning it was great, but every time you opened it, it would come off more and more and more. I have since grown past Velcro, but I do not shame anybody that likes it. If that's your thing, use it. My grandfather was 80 years old and wore Velcro sneakers, and he was the cutest thing I've ever seen. So that's fine. We all have our opinions, and mine just happens to be broadcast here on Facebook. So, quickly we'll talk about feet. I don't love purse feet. I carry these for you. I don't love them. It's just, yeah.
Are they even in any of your patterns?
No.
I don't think so.
Because purse feet are 100% optional. So the reason I would not write it into a pattern is because that would be me telling you you have to get it for that pattern. I don't think that you need it. I think that you do it when you want it. And purse feet, they have a purpose. I understand the logic behind them, but I just don't think with the amount of junk that I carry in my purse, that purse feet are going to protect the bottom of my purse. They might protect yours, but they're not going to protect mine. And purse feet, here's my best tip for them. Finish the outside. Get your outside done. And before you do the assembly part, do your feet. That way you can see where they're going to go, because in most bags, except for the one that I just picked up, of course, you're going to finish the outside and turn it right sides out. We'll do this one. And when you turn it right sides out, you can draw and place your purse feet. We sell them in packs of eight. So you can do 2 bags, or if you need them for a bigger bag, if you were doing a road trip bag and you want to use all 8, 4 is pretty standard. So we basically gave you 2 bags worth for $4 whole. They're very inexpensive. And you just make a little hole, and these are very similar if you've done any scrapbooking and done those style of rivets. Can't get my nail in there. Where this little thing,
they're like, what did you say? Not paper clips.
They're like rivets for our, those little
paper fasteners. That's what they were called.
I can't get my nail in there right now. But you just open this up when it's inside. It comes with washers, comes with little washers. You put it through, open it up, and it's done. They're very, very simple to put in. But yes, I sell them and I don't use them. So there.
Sue Smith put 6 on her road trip bag.
6 is a good number for a road trip bag. I would say 4 in a standard purse, 6 to 8 on something really big. So I think they look really cool. I think they look high end, but I don't feel like they do enough for me personally, so that's why I don't use them. And we sell them in all 6 colors. I should use them, but I don't, because that's who I am as a person. I'm sorry. So let's see what else. Rivets, I'm not going to talk much about rivets. We talked about them last week. You can go watch that video, or you can watch the separate YouTube video that's just about rivets. Barb said we could use these as earrings.
Yeah, why not?
I guess you actually could if you really wanted to.
Really?
If you do it, though, it's not my problem if your ear falls off, so don't come at me for that.
Like studs,
rivets can be functional or rivets can be decorative. This is also something, yes, I use them, but I will not write into a pattern, because all of my patterns are written for a sewing machine only in construction. If this is necessary for construction, I'm going to find a way around that. Rivets should be used either for extra stability and in the construction, or they should be used for decoration. I just can't justify, again, like we talked about last week, telling you that if you want to make this bag, you have to buy rivets and a rivet setter and invest in all of this stuff. Use them at your discretion, and if you don't like rivets, that's okay. That's totally fine. I like them, I just didn't use them for a long time. So, I want to save all of the strap stuff for the end. So let's talk about some of the other little things. Chains. Yes. Well, it's not going to totally close. It's okay. We do have chains for now. We only have them in silver, gunmetal, and antique brass. We have discontinued them. They are 2 for $5 on the pop-up sale page. There are 2 reasons for that. Number 1, sales have dropped a lot on them. That's the number 1 reason. In the beginning, when I was doing shows a few years ago, this was a show item. We sold so many of these at shows that we would be restocking them all day long. I don't know why. It's just the way that it was. Now we don't really sell a lot of them, so I'd like to make space for other things, other finishes. But also, this chain gets stuck in my hair and it makes me angry. And I just have that kind of texture of hair that gets stuck in everything. It's always stuck in my necklaces. But I don't love these chains for me. And I don't really like a chain on a bag. I would rather have like a beefier strap. It's a look. It's an aesthetic. So we do have these. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just not my cup of tea. But as soon as they're gone, they're gone. We're not going to restock them anymore. And I don't see us bringing in another style of chain. So please don't ask. We're going to get rid of these and we're going to move on and we're going to do other things. And let's see, real quick, we've talked about these a lot, but we'll talk about them a little bit more. We have frames. We have frames. We have Diva frames, and we have Kiss Lock frames. Kiss Lock frames will be a little bit easier. We'll talk about those. So Kiss Lock frames is this. It's that old-fashioned style of frame. They call them a kiss lock because they kiss together when they lock, and now the bag is closed. That is where the name came from. These are glue-in. I have seen styles for kiss lock frames. I've also seen them called U frames. I've seen them called, usually it's some kind of frame, maybe just purse frame. We only have the glue-in style. I have seen these with screws. And the reason that ours will never have screws is because then we get into this again. I do not want anything else that has itty bitty teeny tiny screws for you to lose, for us to count. Not my thing. So ours glue in. That is how I've always used them, and that's the only way that I'm planning on having those. We have Kiss Lock frames in one size. They're 8x3, and the measurement on that is, again, 8 across, and it's 3 down. That is just the size that is determined for that pattern. I don't foresee us having the little coin pouch size because they can be a real bear to get in when you're gluing them. And so I'm imagining them being this big, not being any more fun. So I'm sticking with that size. We have a couple of patterns that go with it. We have 4 colors. We have the silver, the gunmetal, the rose gold, and the antique brass. We have a supply of those to last us for 7 lifetimes because I had a big minimum that I had to order them.
Boxes and
There
boxes.
are so many boxes of Kiss Lock frames. I need to design like 5 more patterns to get rid of the Kiss Lock frames. So the original piece of hardware, the first one I ever had, the Diva frame. This one right here. This is a 7.5-inch frame. All of our Diva frames are closed on the ends. I have never been asked that before until this past year, and I've been asked that about a dozen times. So apparently there's another style of Diva frame that have an open end.
Wow.
Ours do not. And I'm not bragging, but I am a little bit. If you see these out there called Diva frames, it's because I named them. Me. It's because of my pattern. When I found these, they had no names. So they were just called wallet frame, metal wallet frame. So if you find a Diva frame not on my website, I named it.
Stole
so
the
I'm
name.
just letting you know that is not. I should have trademarked it, but I didn't.
should have.
I should have, but yeah, whatever.
Shoulda,
you
coulda, woulda.
Live in line.
So this fits on the Diva wallet. Do you see where the name came from? Did you guys pick up on that?
Yeah.
I figured. And it also fits on the Prima Diva. And it also, we have the little ones for the Mini Diva. Mini Diva and Mini Prima Diva, which I don't have right here. These, again, lock together. They usually have plastic on them, except if they are antique brass or embossed. They have screws that go on the inside. Your screws are always on the inside, not the outside of your wallet. I have always flipped this down. People like to flip it up. It doesn't matter. It works the same, but it's a visual thing. I flip it down. Again, they're closed on the ends. We have, like, is it 12 maybe? We have silver, brass, gunmetal, rainbow, rose gold,
Yellow gold.
not yellow gold. I'm doing plain first. So 5 plain. We have 5 embossed, because we have yellow gold, rose gold, gunmetal, silver, antique brass.
All the basics, yeah.
And then we have the rainbow. And the rainbow only comes in plain. I think it would be super cool in embossed, but they don't make it that way. They're 2 different manufacturers, and I tried to get them to play together, and they said no. I said, could you make the embossed frame and you can make it in rainbow? And they were like, no. We don't want to be friends with each other. I think I actually started an argument by accident halfway around the world, and I did not mean it. I was like, can you contact this person? They got very, very upset with me. Oopsie. So yes, Diva frames. The embossing tends to be a little bit on the lighter side. It's not a deep embossing, but I like it because it hides the scratches more. That's the only thing. When you get a big piece of metal, it's going to get scratched. Just learn to live with that, because there's nothing you can do except coat it in plastic and leave it that way forever. So we talked a lot about Diva frames. I've told you a lot about the screws. Don't let the screws defeat you. Sometimes you just have to make a hole and shove the screw in and glue it, and sometimes the hole's too big, so you also glue it. Glue is your friend. Gutermann HT2. Trust me, keep it around. You'll use it for a lot of things. Handmade tags. Handmade tags are purely for decoration. They are not written into any patterns because you do not need to use them. You can. I use them on everything because I like people to know I made stuff, so I can tell them I won't make them anything. So, because I'm mean. I put it on a little wallet. I put it on a big one. We have them in the zipper pull style, which is not a zipper pull. It's not going to replace your pull. It has a hook on it. We have two different styles of hooks, because this was the original style with this little tiny hook, and then they remade it and they put the lobster claw on it. Which, yes, the lobster claw is nicer, but it will still work with the little one. And once these are gone, they will be gone forever, and we will only have the lobster, but we get what we get. I switch manufacturers a lot and go back and forth, and sometimes there's communication errors, and I just have to live with that. These have washers. And let me see. Okay, we're going to talk about strap anchors real quick, and before we talk about that, I just want to talk about washers for a second. I think it was actually Sean that brought this up a long time ago. Barb's son was like, are you sure these washers are right? They look like they're cut out of like a tin can. Because they probably are. The point of a washer is not to be seen. It is to secure something on the back. They might look like this. If you have a handmade tag or a twist lock, they might also look like this. Because again, it depends on the manufacturer. They might have a lot of holes. They might have 2 holes. They might look like they were cut out of a Pepsi can. It's not a big deal. Don't sweat over it. It all depends on where they came from, and we work with a lot of different people. There's long ones and short ones, and I would say 99% of the time we send you the correct ones and the right amount. But sometimes we make mistakes because they are not robots. My robots have not come in yet. I ordered them. They haven't gotten here yet. So if we mess up on your washers, another thing, they're on a slow boat. They're coming.
Was it going through the Suez Canal?
It might be. That's where our robots are. If you are ever in a bind because of human error, or because maybe you're human error and you lost something, it's not the end of the world. I can assure you that the tab will not, or the washer will not make or break your project. So let's say that I'm putting in a handmade tag. This bears no weight. So most of the time at home, I don't even use the washer. I just cut it and put it on, because it's not holding on to anything. If I'm putting in a twist lock, or if I'm putting in a piece of anchor, strap anchors, and I've lost a washer or I don't have enough, you can use a little piece of cardboard. You can always, in a pinch, if you don't have what you need. If we made a mistake, tell us. Politely, please. I always like the polite emails better. And just say, hey, you shorted me like 2 washers. Can you send them? Absolutely. Not a problem. We will always fix our mistakes. But if you're at home and you made a mistake, or you can't wait for us to ship it to you, use a piece of cardboard. Or go out into your husband or your wife's workshop and borrow something from them. They usually have stuff around too. But the washer is just to give extra stability, and it doesn't have to be the one that we send you if for some reason it can't be. Does that make sense? So don't stress. Washers are not anything to stress about. Unless it's like washing machine, like stress about those. You don't want leaks, but these are minor. These are minor.
Yeah. Life's too short to worry about little stuff like that.
Life's too short to worry about anything.
You got it.
Okay. So the last thing, and I did bring the key rings.
Oh, the key ring.
But I mean, these aren't a big deal.
We got lots of colors in those.
We have all the colors in these, and these are 1.25 inches.
I had to get more bins. Home Depot loves Jessica.
Tell me about it. I buy them out of those gray bins every time they have them, because they don't always have them. So let's just talk about strap anchors. And what is a strap anchor? So if you look at this Liana bag, I have written into the pattern that you need rectangle rings, because that's how you hold the strap on. But that's not fancy enough for you. You want something different. You want to try something new. You don't want to just make it plain. Well, you have options. So when you hear strap anchor, it's just something that literally anchors your strap to the bag. So I'll show you the styles and I'll show them to you on a bag. We have icicles. I have also seen these called long anchors and long johns. So, yeah, long johns. We have jewels. I've also seen these called triangles. I've seen them called diamonds, and I've just seen them called short anchors. It all depends on where you get them from. We also have strap keepers, which I've also seen called bridges because they are like a little bridge. And then the strap end caps, strap ends, end caps, any combination of those words. So let's see, just making sure. Okay, I didn't forget anything. Let's look at the same bag with different types of hardware. So here is Harper. This Harper is done the way the pattern is written with the rectangle rings. These are 1.5 inches. Keep it nice and simple. I didn't want to make anything too fancy because I have a pieced outside.
That's
But
very pretty.
if that's not enough, I can go here and I can make Harper with the jewels. So it gives me a little bit of bling, not over the top, because this just adds a little bit. And this I find is, if you're a little bit more, you want simple but not super simple, you kind of have that medium kind of hardware. Then we get into my favorite, which is the icicles. I love icicles. I would put them on everything. So I put them on a lot of things. So the icicles, one thing to keep in mind, you may have to make some adjustments in your straps because these are standard sizes. We don't have control over the size of them. So if you can see here, this is a wide strap and this one's kind of narrow. Your jewels can accommodate 1 to 1.25 inch wide straps. You can make them narrower if you want to, but you can go up to 1.25 inches. Icicles, this is actually, I think, a 3/4 inch strap. You can go up to 1 inch because you have to worry about this width in here. So that means if you're using them in a pattern where they're not written in, you might have to make some slight adjustments. But that gives you a little bit of opportunity for artistic, changes and making something more your own. The last set is, and this is a little mini Harper, these strap ends and the strap keepers. The strap ends cover up the raw edge. The strap keepers aren't actually functional. They're screwed in, but the strap is sewn down. So they're really just decoration and to cover up the stitching. I have seen patterns where this is used where the strap is tucked into it. You can do that as well, but we use these more as decoration. Now when it comes to jewels and icicles, these have prongs, so they have washers on the back, and these have holes, so they have screws on the back. The strap keepers, I'll say the wrong words and I'll confuse everybody. The strap keepers also have washers and screws, and the strap ends have screws. Teeny tiny itty bitty screws. Let me tell you something about those screws. I don't use them most of the time because you can't see them. Because I'm going to glue this on anyway. I'm going to glue this end on because I don't want this to ever have to fall off because those screws are tiny. This one has screws. They're not all the same color because it doesn't really matter. You can skip the screws, completely glue it on, leave it, and be done with it. So don't let the screws and the washers ruin your day. There's always alternatives to them. So I think that was hardware in a nutshell. That is everything that we have. Oh, and all of this strap accoutrement comes in 6 colors. The icicles, the jewels, I just get tired of saying anchors. All of the anchors come in all 6 colors. The only reason we don't have everything in all 6 colors is, again, we base it on what we sell. And if something is really slow on sales, I'm not going to invest in getting more colors because that just seems silly to me. But we kind of add as we need. So that's it. That was Hardware 101 in a nutshell. And we have a new piece of hardware coming. Surprise!
What is it?
Let me guess, grommets.
We got grommets.
We got grommets. How many colors do we get?
6.
Oh,
And how many pieces are they each?
2.
So how many bins is that? 12. And how much shelf room do we have? None!
We were just talking about that. We're going to move some stuff around again.
I know. They are constantly moving stuff around.
We are going to be having a pop-up sale.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. So keep your eyes out.
Marlene's selling everything. We might have a coupon code coming up. We might have a sale. We might move more things to the pop-up sale page. I don't know. But we got a lot. We have a lot, and we're still getting more. And now we're ordering more cork and more prints. And right over there is a pile of beautiful prints that I did not get to color match this week that I need to add.
And they're really
cool.
pretty.
Do you want to show them the one that we really like? Show them the antique one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you guys this. I really like this one. Do you like it? I just fell in love with this one. You want to show them that one too? Okay. These two I think are going to go immediately to the regular page because I love them. So this is
I love them both.
antique phones and machines and typewriters and cameras. I mean, what do you guys think of that? With tiny, tiny little black polka dots in the background. Mm-hmm. Is that good, Marlene?
It's not on yet. Oh,
Yep.
yes.
So there's there's little birds. The typewriter says hello. I don't know what I'm pointing at, but it's here.
Yep.
There's little cameras. I just think they're so cute. I just love it.
Love it.
And
Especially
then
being a
this
secretary.
one. Oh yeah, and my first job ever still had a typewriter, and I was like, I actually know what that is. We never used
Mine
it.
did too, but not
we
that
had
kind of a typewriter.
And then this is just like little stamps. Kind of ties in with our passport theme from
Yes.
earlier. So
Yes.
a lot of
Perfect for
the
a travel
stamps
bag.
are Canadian. I don't know why.
Oh, are they? I never looked at that.
But there's a whole bunch of writing that I can't read. So it's just like little, I think these are like travel passport stamps.
Yeah.
And it's got like purple, blue, red, a little bit of like a dusty rose color.
And
but
here it
it's
looks
just,
like black and red.
it probably does. It's not black, but it's just a nice simple print that I think is guy and girl friendly, and I don't know, I just really liked it. I saw those and I was like, I need to order them. So I'm going to work on getting those uploaded. I got a lot of
What
stuff
type
to
of
do.
grommets? With screws?
No, snap together grommets.
Perfect.
Wait a minute.
Thank
Do I
God.
have it? Hold on. Hold on. Do you want? If you want to see, Ugh. I had them. I don't have them.
Oh,
I did
she
with them.
lost her head.
I've lost everything this week. I don't have them because I probably put them somewhere safe. So, yes, they are one size. No, I don't remember what size they are. They're roughly an inch, somewhere in that size. And they're the snap together grommets. So you don't need to have any special tools, but if you want to use your rivet press, you can. But you can actually just use a hammer and hammer them together. So those are on order. I am hoping that they'll be in possibly in May, but I don't know exactly when. I won't know until I have a ship date. And that's
I
it.
want you to let Marlene make room for the pop-up sale. Marlene would sell everything. if she
Marlene will
could.
sell literally everything. We will have nothing left.
She'd be selling Jess and I too.
Well, you for sure.
I think that's it.
Nice friend I have. Huh?
I hope that answered some questions and helped. Yes.
Would you ever consider getting 3/4 inch hardware?
Probably not. And the reason I say that, again, just remember, if I'm going to do that size, I have to get slides, rectangles, swivels. There's so many things to it, and it's not that I want to be stubborn about it, but it's a space issue and it is a cost factor. I have to invest a lot more for you to have one size than you would have to. So that's just 6 finishes in 3 to 4 different styles is a lot.
And like 1,000 each, it seems.
We need a new office, and I need to marry a millionaire. For right now, I'm going to say no to 3/4 inch. Will that change in the future? I don't know. Things change all the time, but for right now, for 2021, I do not foresee that happening. And I can say with extreme certainty, there will be no 1/8 inch weird number. I don't do 3/8 and 5/8. I find that odd. I don't even like using my ruler for that. So 3/4 is more likely to happen than 1/8 inch, but it's probably not going to happen. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset anybody. Anything else?
No, that's about it now.
Okay. It is 66 degrees right now. I'm so excited. I want to get outside right now. But if you have any questions, let me know. And I don't know what we're doing next week, but we'll be back on Friday. as always, maybe Marlene will start it again. I don't know. But I think we're good. So I think we're going to call it a day. Have a great weekend. Keep making awesome stuff. Stop being mean to yourselves and stop sending me mean messages. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Everybody.